Hello everyone. In this lesson we're going to learn how to use pagination in Laravel. Let's jump into the action. So in this window I'm logged in as the Meowsalot user, and for their homepage feed they're following Brad and Barksalot, and off camera I set things up so that Barksalot has 6 different posts and Brad has 6 posts. Just so we have a little bit of data here to work with. But imagine if each user had 100 posts. The point is, you probably don't want to show tons and tons of posts on one screen. Maybe you just want to show 5 or 10 or 20 and then have paginated links down at the bottom. I want to show you how easy Laravel makes this. So let's go into our user controller, because that's what's controlling the homepage feed here. So search for your user controller file. We're looking for our show correct homepage function. And on this line, we have our homepage feed blade template. We're giving it posts. Well, when we look on our user model and look for feed posts, instead of ending this with the get method, we're actually going to change get and instead just end it with a method call of paginate. Now, in these parentheses, you get to say how many posts or how many items per page. So for example, like if I want there to be 4 blog posts per page, you just put 4, hit save. If I refresh, well, there's good news and bad news. The good news is that we only see 4 blog posts. The bad news is that we don't see any sort of pagination links. And that's just because Laravel can't read our mind. So Laravel doesn't know, would we want the links up here? Would we want the links down here? So we just need to go into our blade template now and spell out where the links should go. So let's jump into our home-feed.blade.php or homepage feed. And it's just personal preference, but I would probably put them above this else, but below this div. So right here, this is where I would put the pagination links. So just double curly brackets for something dynamic, and then watch how easy Laravel makes this. We just start working with our collection of items, right? So $posts, and then it's this easy. We look inside it and call a method of links. That's it. That's all we have to do. So if we save that and refresh, cool. Now, the functionality is complete, but in terms of like user experience or graphic design, we can do better than this. The reason this doesn't look beautifully designed or perfectly designed is because it's using Tailwind CSS classes. Now, I'm actually a big fan of Tailwind, but this is not a course about CSS or Tailwind. So right now, what I want to show you is how to configure Laravel to say, hey, Laravel, stop using Tailwind classes and start using Bootstrap classes, right? Because I'm using Bootstrap to power the CSS and design of my website. Anyways, if you actually click this link, you can see up in the URL that takes you to page number 2. And whoops, this is actually the window where I'm logged in as Brad. But in this window where I'm logged in with Meowsalot, there's page 2, page 3, cool. So really quick though, let me show you how to use Bootstrap classes just for CSS reasons. All we would do is go into our app folder, and then not HTTP. Inside app, there's a folder called providers, and then we're looking for the file called app service provider. All we do down in this file is we scroll down to the bottom, we look for the boot function. In the boot function, you can get rid of this comment, and we're just going to say uppercase paginator, : look inside it and call a static method of use bootstrap 5, parentheses to call it, semicolon. Now we do need to include this, so just right click on paginator, choose import class, and it's this second one, or for me it's the second one. It's the one that says illuminate pagination paginator. So click that, we can hit save, and now if we go back and refresh, beautiful. I think this looks a lot better. I would probably want a little bit of margin in between, this content and the pagination button. So I would just go back into our blade template, and I would just wrap this in a Bootstrap utility class. So I would just, opening div there, closing div here, and on the opening div, I would just say class equals, margin top 4, just so there's a bit of spacing. If I refresh, beautiful. I think this looks perfect. So we're on page 1. You can go to page 2, page 3. There's also arrows for back and forth. Cool. So where do we go from here? Well, in our next lesson, we're going to take care of a few miscellaneous details. For example, I'll show you an efficient way, or the way that I like to control the document title, like the title that you would see up in the tab for this page. I'll show you how to control that so that it's actually custom instead of just always saying our app, right? So for example, when you go to a blog post, this should probably say, the title of the blog post and then a dash or a pipe and then our app. Or, if you go to a user's profile, we should see that reflected in the document title up here. So I'll show you how I would set that up in Laravel. And then also, I'll show you how to reduce duplication. What I mean by that is this formatting for a blog post on a homepage feed is super similar to when you go to a user's profile and see a list of blog posts. So we can set up a post component for this formatting. Cool. Now, once we take care of those two details, we're going to jump into a really fun feature. We're going to bring the live search overlay to life. Now, this is not a course about JavaScript, so we're not going to write all of the JavaScript together line by line. However, we're going to learn how to connect client-side JavaScript to the back end of our Laravel application. Right, so that you can click this link in real time, a full screen search modal will appear, and then as you're typing, each character you type, we can show the user real-time results after every keystroke. It should be a ton of fun to set up. Anyways, let's keep our momentum rolling, and I will see you in the next lesson.